Hi everyone! Welcome to the live stream. Doing a live stream this week just because I'm still so ill that I haven't been able to record a proper video. But I am going to be talking decluttering tips, just my advice from the huge amount of decluttering I have done. So if you're here, say hi in the chat box, ask me questions, try and keep it decluttering related, and I will answer. Hi, Gabriella. How are you? Um, Hello. Hi, everyone. Your messages are coming through now. Great. Sometimes there's a little bit of a delay on these things. Geeky Dragon, hi. Casey, hi. I am feeling a little bit better now, as in I am upright. No more bedridden for me. I've just been in bed, basically. Hi, Priscilla. Hello, everyone. Hi, Tracy from Ontario. Lovely. Canada-ish. Thank you. The accent. Yeah, I get comments on my accent all the time. Bonjour. Hello, France. I speak tiny bit of French. I used to be fluent many years ago. I'm roboting. Is that the sound? Does that mean the sound is gone or the screen is gone? Gloucestershire, hi. First question. Great. Any advice for kids' toys, especially for disabled kids? As in, how do you store and keep them straight? Baskets are the way to go, like any sort of storage tub. So I would say pull everything out. I know that can be difficult, but try and find a time when your kid is not there so you can pull everything out. Go through it. Depending on how old your child is, you can go through them with your child. I started doing that from the time Scout was about 3. Before that, I just did it myself. From the time she was about 3, I went through everything with her, and she was surprisingly up for the whole thing. Kind of get rid of anything that is no longer, relevant, that they don't play with anymore. The way I did it, which was really, really helpful, was to pick stuff that she no longer wanted. So I explained to her that it would go to another boy or girl who had no toys or very few toys. So that kind of helped her let go of some things. But I also had a separate pile of things that were going to go into storage. That way it made it easier for her because she was able to say, okay, I don't want to play with this thing right now, but she didn't have that anxiety of actually letting it go and thinking that she would never see it again. So she let go of a huge amount of stuff that I then, in our old home, put in the attic. And then if she decided she wanted something out of the attic, she would have to pick something else to go up in its place. And that worked really well for us. After that, it's a matter of categorizing things. So I tried to keep like all her soft toys together, all of her like vehicles, like trains and cars and things together, Lego, bricks, blocks, things like that. And then in tubs, big open tubs or baskets in shelves so that they can pull it all out, play with it. They know that it all goes back in the box and they just slide it back onto the shelf. I hope that helps. But tubs or baskets with kids, so convenient because it's so easy for them to throw everything back in. Decluttering kids' books. Oh, books is a hard one for me because I'm such a bookworm. I find that really difficult. For me, I tend to keep all the books. So I'm probably no help to you there. We did get rid of some that she had outgrown, like that she genuinely was not going to read anymore. ABCs and 1, 2, 3 books. And those, what really helped for us was we donated them to a local school who were really appreciative of it. It was actually Scout's old school. So we got to bring them in. The teachers were so appreciative. We got to see like the other kids enjoying them, how excited they were to have new books. That really helped us let go of a lot of books. Does that help? I hope so. Books are a really hard one for me. But yeah, we picked the ones that she had definitely outgrown. Then again, it may be a case of, so what we do Here is Scout will keep some books that she currently loves up in her room. And she has like her own little library from there, and those are the books that we pick and we read to her at night. And then we have kind of the majority of our books. Well, mine would be in here in the office with me, but the others are out in the living room. Um, but yeah, so maybe like having a separate place for books that you're not sure about, and then letting your kid build up their own kind of little library from those, like going and picking, okay, which story do I want to read tonight? And generally kids tend to read the same stories over and over again. um, and after a while you'll see that some books are just sat on the shelf and have been there for a long time. And that should help to make the decision a little bit easier. But yeah, knowing that it's good other kids are benefiting, that has really helped. Hi Sweden, hi Sarah. Hi, Stacey. Hi from New England. It's a long time since I was in Boston. We holidayed in Cape Cod a while ago. I would love to go back. It's beautiful. Hi, Kathy. How long will the live be? I'm not sure, Priscilla. I'm hoping to keep it to about 30 minutes. It will be up on my channel afterwards. I will keep it up on the channel so you'll be able to watch the replay if you can't hang around for the whole thing. My auto is making me sound robotic. Is anyone else having that problem? I'm really sorry about that. I could have used like a separate mic, but I decided to just use the sound on the laptop. So let me know, is anyone else having trouble with sound? Am I regretting pulling everything out from the closet since there was so much? Yes. Yes, I am, Stacey. Still. I feel the best way for that would have been for me to pull out everything. I don't regret pulling everything out. I regret pulling everything out all at once. I should have maybe pulled the shoes out first, kind of gone through those and then like pushed them aside. Because when I did everything out of it, but it was in the front upstairs and it was all over the bedroom, and it was just a nightmare. I still want to pull everything out of the space because I think that's so important for like getting the space clean. But yeah, everything out at once, yeah, that was horrible. Let me see. Sorry, the chat keeps jumping because there are so many messages, so I'm trying to scroll back. Last year I went through everything with my kids 6 and 7. It took the whole day, but we got it done. Yeah, and it's really like the process can be really long. For me, I tend to try and do it in like blocks of time. It generally takes me more than a day to do things because I don't spend an entire day doing it. I'll spend maybe 2 or 3 hours one day. And yeah, it's not ideal, but at the end of it, like you just suck it up and get it done, and it's done, and you feel so much better afterwards. So don't despair. I know sometimes it can be very disheartening when you pull everything out and it just looks 10 times worse and then you just want to give up. But if you push through, you will get it done. Like there is a finish line. So where do I donate? So back in Ireland, I donated to St. Vincent de Paul. There is a St. Vincent de Paul here in the States as well. There's one in the next town over. So that's probably where I'm going to donate over here as well. Possibly Goodwill. I'm just not familiar with them. In Ireland, we have St. Vincent de Paul, and that's where I would normally donate my stuff. Or again, if it's kids' stuff, I donate it to a local school. That's it. Hi, Kristen. Thank you so much. I am on the mend, slowly but surely. How to stop self-sabotaging when cleaning. So what exactly do you mean by that? In what way are you self-sabotaging? As in like pulling everything out and then not doing anything with it, or like procrastinating, or like decluttering but then going out and kind of like binge shopping? To me, I'm so stubborn. It's just I get stuck in, and I generally do not enjoy the process, but I'm so persistent with things that I want to get to the finish line, and I just focus on that, like how I want the space to look. That's what it's about for me. Like, and she talks about that in the KonMari Method as well, like sitting down beforehand and visualizing not just how you want the space to look, but how you want to feel in that space and how you want to live in that space. So for me in my office, it was all about having everything close at hand and just having workspace that I could spread out on, but could easily clear away as well. So I think that can really help, like thinking about how you want the space to work for you and what the benefits will be for you when it's done. That can really help. And then just being stubborn as feck, like I am. Not late to the party at all. Nope. Hi Sam, how are you? I saw on Instagram earlier you posted a picture of your Bulbasaur plant. I love it and I want one. Hi Denmark, hi Anna. Yeah, schools is a great way to go if you want to donate. And I donated a whole pile of stationery to the school as well, and they were so thrilled. A lot of schools, certainly in Ireland, don't have a huge amount of funding. They do have funding, but a lot of, and I know I've heard the stories over here in the States as well, like teachers often have to buy a lot of their own supplies, if not all of their own supplies. So I donated a lot of like pens and pencils and just papers and like journaling cards and scrap paper and there's various little bits and like old crafty things that Scout wasn't playing with, little pom-poms and lollipop sticks and things like that. And they were so thrilled with them because it saves them money. The kids get new things. Like it's just all around. It's brilliant. It gives you the warm, fuzzy feelings. So have I ever been to Norway? I have not, but I'm hoping to go someday. I would love to see the Northern Lights, and I know my husband would love to see the Northern Lights. So we will hopefully be venturing up that way. I don't think anytime soon, but it's definitely like a bucket list. What do I do with miscellaneous surface clutter? That's a tricky one. For me, I keep a drawer, like a junk drawer, where I put it all. If I definitely cannot categorize it. And I found the same with kids' toys. So Scout has a lot of, she'll have soft toys and blocks and books and things like that. But then there are lots of those small fiddly toys that don't really fit in anywhere. So for those, just put them all in, have like a miscellaneous box or a miscellaneous drawer. That's the best thing to do with those. And I will know, like, if there's something that we have, if Sam is looking for something, my husband, and like it doesn't have a designated home, it'll be in the junk drawer. That's where all the miscellaneous stuff goes. But the big thing is to keep it out of sight. So get yourself a basket or an empty drawer and just throw it all in. And don't worry about like it's not categorized or anything like that. It's miscellaneous. That is its category. Hi from the Netherlands. I have an uncle and an aunt and their kids who live in the Netherlands. They are in Utrecht, but I've never actually visited, and hopefully I will someday. Okay, sound is good for everyone else, it seems. Can't get rid of magazines. Always say you'll read them later, but you actually don't. Same with books. Why is that? Any psychological explanation? Yes. Problem with magazines also, but also with online articles. I save a lot to read later. And not last August, but the August before, I went on kind of like an information detox. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but it was my 1 month challenge for the August of 2016. I decided I wasn't going to read any new articles or any new like magazines or anything. And after that, I realized how much information I was stockpiling and not utilizing, like never reading it, never going back over it. And I was able to let it go then, because realistically, all that information is easily available online. That really helped me. Going on that month-long detox really helped. So just like staying away from it, also not flicking through magazines. As soon as you open a magazine and flick through it, like that's it, you're gone. You'll see so many things that you want. So yeah, I hope that helps. But yeah, the psychological reason, as far as I can see, is that you think there is something in there. It's like FOMO. Like you think you're going to be missing out on some great recipe or some great piece of advice, when realistically Number one, you will never have the time to read all of those. And number two, like you're just constantly being bombarded with that information every day. Like the information is out there. So you're really not missing anything. Las Vegas. Nice. Um, giant pixelating video. That is so crap. I'm really sorry about that. I'm sorry you're having problems, Geeky Dragon. I don't know why that is. Maybe my Wi-Fi is terrible. Mine has been up and down the past few days, admittedly. Let me see. Recently found your channel, love it. My husband and I are working on clearing out our house. Feels amazing. Just get rid of what we don't need. Yes, and that is an ongoing process. And like I have been doing it for 3 or 4 years now, and I'm still getting rid of stuff because realistically, there's stuff still coming into the house. And as we grow up, like our needs and our wants and our likes change. So things that I thought I could never part with, now that I'm a little bit older and hopefully somewhat wiser, and now that my daughter's growing up, you realize that you can let go of things. I discussed this in a video probably about 3 years ago, I think, that actually giving myself permission to keep something made it easier for me to part with it. There were some things that I did not want to let go of, like they didn't really spark joy, but for some reason I didn't want to let go of them. Whether I thought it was like wasteful or whatever. And there was that internal struggle. And in the end, I just gave myself permission to keep the stuff. And once I had gave myself the permission, all of a sudden there wasn't that tension anymore. And I thought, yeah, actually I can let it go after all. So sometimes you just have to say to yourself, you know what, for some reason, this is hard for me to let go of. And like, if it's just causing you anxiety, just keep it. The more anxiety sometimes can just like make you cling to something that much harder than like is really logical. And once you like take away that anxiety, you find that the separation is not as bad. Keep your questions coming in. I'm loving this. This is because I was afraid I would be here on my own. Writing out my why was so helpful and important. I still have it in my planner. Yes. So like just why you want that space, like why you want to declutter, what the benefits will be, how you're going to use it. So, so important. Let me see. Sorry, I'm scrolling back through because I'm missing so many. Somebody has a tip. KonMari for my clothes had a friend with me so I could just hand her every item that needed to go and let her decide if items go to a clothing swap, donations, or trash. Faster, less emotional. Definitely. And I found that with sentimental stuff. I held on to a lot of sentimental stuff, particularly Scott's old clothes. And they reminded me of a particular time, or there was a cute picture where she was wearing the clothes and whatever. And my husband, who was not sentimental at all, so when we moved over here, like when we were packing up to move, we went through some stuff in the attic, and he just sat down with me and he was kind of like, why are you keeping these clothes? And I said, oh, well, she looked so cute in them and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, she's never going to wear them again. And we have the memories and we have the photos. And that was really helpful, like to have someone else there who wasn't as emotionally attached, who could like talk some sense into me, basically. That does help. It definitely does. But you have to be careful with who you choose. They have to be like an unemotional person, because some friends will come in and be like, no, why are you getting rid of that? Like I know, for example, if I was decluttering with my mother here, she would be like, oh, but you can't get rid of that. Like, it's so nice, or I bought you that, or so choose your partner carefully, your decluttering partner. Looking at my face is so relaxing. I'm glad you think so. I had a comment once from a lady who said that my facial expressions stressed her out. So it's nice to know that I don't have that effect on everyone. The ones that you won't throw out, magazines, I'm assuming, are from the UK and come out 4 times a year. I'm keeping all of those. Too pretty to toss. Yeah, I have a big collection of Real Simple magazines out there, and I don't really read them, but the covers are lovely. So yeah, I do. I hear you on that one. Sometimes it's just nice to have a collection. I'm doing nothing here for actual decluttering. I'm like, yeah, keep all your stuff. Um, Everyone, please smash that like button. Thank you, Emma Stoll. That's lovely. Um, Hi, Alison. You said hey back to everyone but me. Consider yourself paid. Sorry, it's just the chat is moving so quickly. Any tips for someone with ADHD? That's a tough one because I don't suffer with ADHD. For me, I think, and again, like this is just my personal opinion, I've never experienced it and I don't know anyone personally with it. So my advice may be crap. But I would think breaking things up into blocks, like very small blocks of time. If you are kind of easily distracted or something like that. The plus side of ADHD is that you tend to be quite energetic. So you like work on things and kind of then like each day or whatever, like write out a little list of the tiny little categories that you could tackle. Jump in and declutter one as quickly as you can. Move on to the next one if you still find that you have the focus. And if not, just let it go and know that the next time you have a little bit of focus and you have the motivation and you're ready, have a look at your list and jump into the next thing. So breaking it down really, really small and like running with that energy as far as you can. Hopefully that helps. Again, I don't suffer from ADHD, so I'm a little bit hesitant to offer advice or to kind of confidently offer advice. So Marion saying that she usually has a picture in her head of how she wants her room or wardrobe to look, and that keeps her going. I also think about how good it will feel when I'm done. Absolutely. And another thing I would say there is just having a picture of a room in your head, like allow yourself to be flexible with that. I had a picture in my head for how I wanted this office to look, and it does look similar to that, but not the exact same. And that's why I would always stress, like, again, it's about how you want to feel in the space. So sometimes when you picture something, your brain can kind of like get stuck on that picture and you think like, oh, why is this like bookcase not working where I want it to work? And you can get caught up in that. So focusing instead on how you want to feel in the space, like maybe having a general idea, but I find like the feeling is better, and just like how you're going to utilize the space. So what makes sense for you? Like what are the things you do on a daily basis? If there's something you use on a daily basis, there's no point like putting it up in like a really high cupboard, for example. Things like that can be helpful. Hello from Saudi. Hi, love your channel. Thank you very much. Stacey, I have a bag of little recyclables and baby food containers and mushroom containers to drop off to the school. Kindergarten teacher uses them and asked those teachers love little stuff for crafts. Absolutely. Teachers are so appreciative, and that really, like, it really, really does help. I gave a lot of Scouts toys to the school as well. I don't know if anyone remembers me telling the story, but I dropped some of Scouts toys off at a St. Vincent de Paul back home, and somebody there picked up one of her toys and went like to take it, and I had this really visceral like gut reaction. I wanted to punch her in the face. And that sounds terrible, but it's just because she was a stranger and I didn't know her, and I felt like she was just like taking my daughter's toys. Whereas when I brought them into the school and I saw how appreciative they were and that it was staying in the school and all the kids were playing with it, that helped. So it wasn't just like sending it off to a strange place where it could end up like who knows where. I still, like I said, I still donate stuff to St. Vincent de Paul, but sometimes if you have like a slightly more sentimental attachment to it, it can really help to know exactly where that stuff is going and how it's going to be used. Hi Priscilla, yes, I answered your question. I'm trying to scroll through all of them and get through all of them. Hi Cynthia, thank you so much. Let me see. Christina, I love your videos, find them so motivating. I'm often binge watch before decluttering my own home just to get in the mindset. I hear that a lot of people binge watch, and I do that myself. Like if I want to be motivated to clean something or to organize a space, like hop on YouTube and see someone else do it, and you think, you see their before and after and you think, I want that. So that does help. I am living in the USA, Priscilla. Yes. I moved 10 months ago now. Do I do in-person meetings? I did a meetup in Chicago last month, and there are more in the pipeline. Nothing planned yet. Right now, we are going to be moving again. Still kind of in the local area, but we want to try and get all of that sorted out first before I start making plans. I will be in Anaheim though next month in about 2 or 3 weeks time for VidCon. So if anyone's going to VidCon, let me know. I can organize to do a meetup there if there are people in the area. Someone shares their magazines with neighbors and they share them with others. Yeah, that can be a good one too, like passing them amongst friends and stuff. So if they subscribe to one magazine and you subscribe to another, you can just pass them back and forth. I borrowed magazines off my neighbor when I was doing up my vision board. That was really helpful. So Mouse Nation, cool name. I find when I clear out, I just seem to replace it and refill the space again without realizing it. Any suggestions? To me, going on a no spend after I clean a space is very helpful, where I just don't let myself buy anything. And that, like, the biggest tip for me there is just not to go to the shops. Because when you go to the store, you will inevitably see something that you want. So trying to stay away from stores, and just trying to live in the space for a week or two first. Sometimes you will decide, actually, I really need like a tray for my papers, or I really need this. And then you can go out and buy it kind of guilt-free. But trying to avoid stores for a certain amount of time until you have lived in the space can be really, really helpful. For ADHD, respect the categories. Yeah, like stick to very small categories, work on those, and then see how you feel. Oh, and the chat keeps jumping as well, which is really annoying because I have to keep scrolling up and down. Hi, Emma. Do you schedule monthly reviews, like blackout time, like a doctor's appointment? Yes, I have this evening scheduled out for a monthly review. Yeah, and I have time next month blocked out for like a mid-year review as well. The last day of every month, I sit down for either an entire afternoon or an entire evening and do a monthly review. Yes. Many schools will also take magazines for art or language classes. Yeah, another good one. Again, even just like ripping them up. I know my daughter sometimes comes home with craft projects where they're focusing on a particular letter for that week. So they go through magazines and cut out all the letters that they find, all the letter A's or whatever. Or they'll cut up loads of letters and the kids will try and make words out of them, like 2 and 3 letter words. Check out the channel How to ADHD. Yes, I've actually heard of that. She has tons of advice for tackling big projects and everyday stuff. I have heard of that channel, actually. That has been recommended before. So yeah, maybe pop over there. I don't have ADHD, says Corey K, but the all-day closet project just sent me whirling. I now take a shelf or a drawer at a time. Much easier, and I actually do it. Yeah, I did kind of bite off more than I could chew with the room, with the closet. I think a huge part of it was that I started so late in the day, and then I just took over the entire bedroom. So I was really pressured time-wise and then space-wise. Like when I emptied out my office, it was all out in the hall. It was all like pushed up against the wall. So I wasn't under any pressure to like get it out of the way. Whereas in the bedroom I was. So yeah, stuff like that, best to do it in chunks. Toys are awful. My kids don't follow any of my systems, says Carly. Should I give up and buy big baskets or something? Yes. Yeah. Big baskets are definitely the way to go with kids. Because they're, like, they have to grow into systems. It depends on the systems that you're implementing, but kids are very kind of basic creatures. They don't follow like complicated systems very well. So big baskets are great because things come out of the big basket, things go back into the big basket. Like, that's very simple for them to understand, but it still like gives you like the cleanliness that you're looking for because everything is still hidden in a big basket. building stuff, and another will have something in it. Okay, so loads of shout outs for How to ADHD, that channel. So Stacey says she too has ADHD. Some good channels, people who have a Clutterbug. I won't say anything on that, but I'm hoping to do something with Clutterbug soon-ish. She's in Her Apron, I have also heard of, and I've heard that's a great one. How to ADHD has been recommended a few times. So yeah, anyone who has ADHD, check out those channels. Mermaid Rhonda, what a great name. Thank you for commenting, Mermaid Rhonda. I have seen your comments like a few times in the chat. So watching episodes of Hoarders gets you motivated. Yeah, I've heard that quite a bit. People watch that and they think, because it's so like these people don't start out with the intention, obviously, of cluttering up their homes that much. And obviously that's, a kind of a different thing. It's essentially a mental illness. Like it's not it's a compulsive thing. But when you see, the level that it can get to, that can help, seeing how bad things can get. What area am I in the USA? I'm in Ohio, Cincinnati, to be a little bit more specific. Hi, Ginger. Let me see. Any tips on decluttering with kids underfoot? I've got 3 under 8 and summer vacation just started 30 minutes ago. First of all, you have my sympathies. But they actually are incredibly helpful. I never thought Mike with this at all, but she can be really helpful. Even if it's not her stuff I'm doing, if I say to her, can you move this thing over here for me? Or can you take all of these books and, take them out one by one and put them over there? Giving kids things to do that have like steps. So taking out all of these books one by one, or clearing off all of this shelf one by one, or putting all of the things into this basket one by one, that is really helpful. So I would say get your kids involved and you might be pleasantly surprised. Other than that, wait until they're gone to bed. Sam does a little and often timer for 30 minutes. Sam knows that I am like a sucker for a timer. Timers are wonderful and I recommend them all the time. And be ruthless. If it's taking too much time, I get too attached to stuff. Yes. And this is why I have started implementing the maybe pile. That's not strictly KonMari, but I found when I was sticking to the KonMari method strictly, I was finding things where it was just taking me too long and I was agonizing over things and it was slowing down my process. I was running out of steam, like it was breaking my motivation. Like just, you get on a roll with something and if something stops you, it can be really hard to pick up steam again. So that's why I implemented the maybe pile. If something, like I don't spend more than a few seconds on things. If I'm kind of not sure about it, straight into a maybe pile and I deal with it afterwards. But you want to kind of keep things moving as quickly as possible. Saw this somewhere, to make all of your doctor appointments within a week of each month. I don't think you saw that here. To make all your doctor's appointments within a week of each month. Then your month isn't broken up with lots of doctor's appointments throughout the month. I don't have that many doctor's appointments, but I would imagine if you did, then yes, like batching them. Again, another thing that I'm huge on is batching things, getting all your errands done at once. Yeah, if you can get all your appointments done in one day, or like within kind of a short time frame, then definitely. Valerie, I decluttered my sentimental drawer and only put back stuff I loved. I put the rest of the items in a box and I'm stuck with what to do. Any advice on being stuck? Put a date on it. I have done that with my clothes that I don't currently fit into, but that I still love. And I'm kind of like, oh, I might fit into them soon. Put a date on it. And that can be really helpful. I can't remember what's in it. Can be kind of I didn't remember, it must not be that important to me. And again, going through it with someone who is unemotional, or certainly less emotional or less sentimental than you are, I found that very helpful. So my husband is the one for me. He's the yin to my yang when it comes to stuff like that. And not with anything else, only the sentimental category because he's not a declutterer otherwise. Bob and Carrie Kennedy, we used to play a game with a kitchen timer to clean up clutter before the timer dings. The boys loved it, and we could get a room decluttered in mere minutes with no whining. Yeah. I do that with Scout as well. Kind of like she'll want to watch something, for example, or play a game, or she knows her friends are going to be home from school at a certain time. And I'll say, right, let's get everything cleaned up so that we can go play. Or let's do this stuff before whatever happens. And I keep like reiterating the benefits to her, like, isn't it great that we can get all this cleared away? So now we have a lovely space that we can, spread out and play a new game in, or, nothing's getting lost and we don't have to lose anything and things like that. But timers, excellent. They're brilliant. Love Clutterbug. She's fantastic. Yeah, I'm hoping I can work something out with her. I haven't actually contacted her yet at all. But she commented on one of my videos a while ago, and it's kind of been on my to-do list to kind of open the conversation with her. Clean My Space is also good. Yes. I love Melissa and Chad from Clean My Space, and their little baby Riley. Clean My Space is a really good channel. Yes, please do a video with Clutterbug. That would be so fun. Hopefully. Let me see. I want to declutter my home because we want to be parents next year, but I don't know how to do it. I already did the KonMari method, and I don't feel like I have more than I want, but we need the space. Preparing for kids is crazy. Like, pick the space that bugs the living snot out of you on a daily basis. For me right now that my office is done, that was a big one, and the closet. And the next one for me, I think, is the mud room. We're just dumping jackets in there and helmets and hats, and Scout brings home things for school and we're just dumping it there. So pick one small area that really bugs you. Like, don't focus on like the child aspect, because then you start like clearing out for a nursery and stuff. Pick the things that bug you. If you open a cupboard every day and you just like, it drives you insane, do that tiny cupboard. That's what I would say. The KonMari method is great and I definitely recommend it. But if it's just not working, try going by space. And that's what I'm doing this time around. Like, I've done the KonMari method twice now, and now I've decided to go space by space. Rhonda, you live in Cincinnati. Do you indeed? There's nothing set in stone. I am hoping to be doing a meetup, a very small meetup in Cincinnati around August, September time-ish. Don't hold me to that. But a few people have asked for it. It would be very, very small. Like, I will be keeping it really small. But yeah, August, September-ish is the very tentative plan. I got something from Clutter Clarity. Look at something and saying, is it worth my time, energy, money, and space to keep it in good order? Yes, Mary, that is excellent advice. And that's another thing that has helped me, looking at things and thinking, do I really want to be moving this thing around? Like, a year from now, do I want to spend the next year of my life dusting this thing? Do I want to spend the next year of my life like flicking past this t-shirt when I never wear it? Do I want to spend X amount of time on this, or money, like having it cleaned or reupholstered or whatever? That can be a really good one. Another one I found really helpful for me actually recently was, does this fit in with my current lifestyle? And I found that helpful with clothes, because I had a lot of clothes that I loved, but I've had for a number of years. Like, a lot of them are kind of like pre-pregnancy clothes. And even though I love them, I realized that they're just not me anymore. So I had, if anyone has seen the video, you'll remember there was a lace dress in it, that was next to the skirt that I agonized over. But the lace dress, it is a beautiful dress, and it's an expensive dress, and I have worn it and loved it, but I'm just just being helpful in this way. My daughter, who has ADHD, enjoys sorting and arranging. So like between the two of them, I have one cohesive other person. Yes, Dawn. Kids are like, they're surprisingly helpful. And you will eventually find that they will get fed up because, they're kids. At which point they will go off and do their own thing. Like if they think that you're going to make them do more jobs while they hang around, they will eventually just like wander off themselves. But they are surprisingly helpful. If you give them very clear instructions on what to do, and you're very, open with your praise, kids love doing that. Pairing socks. It's like, again, depending on how old your kids are, but if you give them like step-by-step instructions of things to follow on something that is going to take them quite a while, like I said, moving one thing from here to there, they can be really good with that. Or even fetching snacks. So if you've been doing something for a while, now I always recommend like having a drink and snacks with you. But if your water bottle or something is empty, asking your kid to go fill it up for you. Yeah, they're basically your little mini slaves. Love the idea of a maybe pile. I'm very indecisive. I find it so helpful, and I know it's not strictly KonMari, but I just don't care. To me, it's keeping that momentum going. The maybe pile is so perfect for that. I don't have to agonize over something. Just go straight in the maybe pile, and I can come back to it, a day or two later when I've got a little bit more energy, a little bit more time. And I tend to come back to the maybe pile as well after I have already finished the space. So when I put everything back into a space, usually I'm really happy with how it looks. I need to get rid of extra stuff of how the space looks and with extra things. So that can be really helpful. Kathleen, I went digital on all of my knitting, spinning, and weaving magazines. That way I can save them to the infamous cloud rather than in piles. Yes, digital is great for things. If your local library has an app, you can probably like borrow magazines for free from them. I do that. So yeah, that's really helpful. And books as well, obviously. And they also do like movies, music, libraries. I'm sure you've heard me go on about them a lot, but they're wonderful resources. Let me see. Stacey says she loves Cass, who's Clutterbug. Seeing you two would be fun collab since you both have different styles, both introverts though. Yes, I'm hugely introverted. You'll put in a good word. Thank you. Let me see. Do I have any tips on how to handle previous owned furniture for my husband that doesn't really fit in our house, design and size wise? He doesn't want to let go of it because of sentimental value. If you have like a basement or something, that can be really convenient for stuff like that. For my husband, I try and give him a space in the house that's kind of just his. So like my office here is just mine. I do what I want with it. And he has an office upstairs, and I let him do whatever he wants in that office. And the basement is kind of his domain as well, apart from like Christmas decorations and things. So giving your husband a space in the house that he can decorate the way he wants. When we were living in Ireland, my husband had an office there as well. And my husband loves pictures all over the place, like all over the walls. He would cover all of our walls in pictures if it were up to him. Thankfully, this is a rental, so we can't do it here. But I hate pictures all over the place. So with his office, I told him to go mad, and he covered the walls in pictures. And he was happy as a clam. That was his little space. So is there a space that you could give him where he could put that furniture? Hopefully that's helpful. If you were to travel to Ireland, where should you go? Galway. Have been wanting to go to both Scotland and Ireland for a long time, but not sure where exactly. Go to Galway. Galway is amazing and beautiful, and I love it. And I'm hoping to actually go myself this year. I used to go every year on holidays with my family, and obviously not last year because we had moved here. But I'm hoping to go again this year. Galway is a city on the west coast. It's a very small city though, so it has a really laid back vibe to it. So it has like all the great facilities that cities have, lots of shopping and things like that, but it's not as hectic as a city. And then like just down the road, you've got the beach and the sea. And then a little bit further, you've got Connemara, which is stunning. If you're going to Scotland, go to Glencoe, Glencoe. Glencoe is kind of like the Scottish version of Connemara. It's just like wilderness. It's up in the Highlands. Again, stunning. Galway, I always recommend Galway. I'm not from Galway. I've never lived in Galway, but I go there generally about once a year. I just love it. Simply Joyful, I have a free box for when my kids, grandkids, friends come over. Take what you want near the door. Yep. That can be really helpful for getting rid of things really quickly. Or if you've got bigger stuff, like popping it up on Craigslist and saying like, it's on the curb, come take it. I haven't done that. Actually, my neighbor across the street left out some furniture. We had, this morning was trash collection. So she left out some stuff last night, but I got up early this morning and it was already gone before like the guys even collected it. Like somebody came around in the middle of the night with the truck, took it all away. So that's an option. What do I think about the zero waste trend? I think it is so admirable and I have the utmost respect for people who do it. I can't even imagine, like I personally try and reduce our waste as much as I can. I'm not quite like zero waste level or anywhere near. And I'm not sure how realistic it would be for my family, just because like my husband and my daughter would not be on board with that at all. But I try and minimize my waste as much as I can. I think it's great, but I think you really have to put a huge amount of effort into it and everyone in your household needs to be on board with it for it to work. But it's great. If you can do it, do it. Ginger, I've been doing a whole house inventory and it's really opened my eyes to how much we own. It makes it easier to let it go. Yes. I did that like when we moved over here, we had to do up an inventory of all our belongings for shipping insurance in case we lost everything on the ship or, you know, it's sunk or caught fire or something. So we had to do an inventory and it was painstaking, the amount of stuff we had, itemizing everything, just a nightmare. Hated it. And it does really open your eyes. And that's another reason why I take everything out of a space when I'm decluttering. Everything seems to expand when you take it out of a room. Like when I looked at everything I took out of my office, it seemed like so much, like I couldn't fathom where all that stuff had like gone in my office, even though I'd just taken it out. So yeah, removing things from a space as well can be a real eye opener. Mary just went today to the library. I will be going tomorrow. Every Friday is library day in this household. The library is wonderful. If you are not a member of your local library, you are missing out. Carly, I love that clutter secret for hiding your husband's stuff in the bedroom. Does it overflow much? It actually doesn't, surprisingly. So if anyone didn't see the video, it's the last video I posted, I think, my declutter with me for the master closet. In our master bedroom, we have like an end table, dresser, like whatever you call it. And I literally just throw all my husband's stuff into it. I open up a cupboard drawer, I throw it all in and I close the door and that's it. Yeah, it really doesn't, because I think what happens is my husband will go in and wear something. He will then leave it on the floor where I will pick it up, throw it into the cupboard. He will go back and maybe rewear it once or twice, and then he will put it into the laundry. And I have to say, he is good at putting stuff into the laundry, into the basket. So hasn't overflown yet, but he did like start to use the drawer as well. But no, he's pretty good at like putting stuff into the laundry. So if you're struggling with that, and it's the same with kids' toys, that's why I always recommend baskets. Throw everything into a basket, put it back on a shelf. You can't see it. Same with my husband's stuff. Throw it all into a cupboard, close the door. And because I don't have to see it on a daily basis, like I wouldn't do that, you know, in the kitchen, for example, because I would be seeing that every day. I would be opening it and trying to like root around and find things. But for things that you don't have to deal with personally on a daily basis, that's a winner. Any plans to have a meetup around Washington, D.C.? No plans, but I certainly could. Washington is not too far. And I generally find that I have a layover in Washington, D.C. when I'm flying to Ireland. I generally will either fly through Chicago, Newark, which I hate and I'm now avoiding forever. I don't care if I have to pay extra. I despise that airport, or Washington, D.C. There's an app called Nextdoor in America where you have to verify your address. It's nice for posting those is on the curb things that only people in your neighborhood or greater area can see. Yes, I use Nextdoor and I do find it great. It's also great for recommendations, you know, if you're looking for like a tradesperson. Also your local police force will be in there and they will post like helpful things about like, you know, scams or, you know, kind of suspicious activity to look out for, or yeah, I would highly recommend Nextdoor. And they're spreading throughout the world. I think they have since come to Ireland as well, so it's not just in America anymore. Let me see. The idea of real zero waste is intimidating and unreal, but I look at it differently since I heard a few YouTubers talking about the imperfect zero waste and the low impact term. Yeah, again, like I think any amount of recycling that you can do is huge. And that's why I donate most of my stuff rather than just dumping it. Now, some stuff has to be dumped, unfortunately, but yeah, I think if you can do anything to reduce the amount of waste, the big one for me, and it just blows my mind over here, but plastic bags, I cannot fathom. And I know over here, like it's eventually going to be phased out. They were phased out in Ireland a long time ago. Like you can still get them, but you have to pay for them. And everyone just uses reusable bags now in Ireland. Over here, the amount of plastic bags like that people just throw at you boggles my mind. So I would say if you want to start zero waste, one of the first things you should do is buy some reusable bags, or you probably even have like tote bags or something around the house that you could use. But they're inexpensive and they are so convenient. And then you just leave them in your car, job done. Anna, I believe it was Sustainably Vegan who was the first with the low impact. I think it's kind of like one of those things like the KonMari method. Yes, it's Marie Kondo's way of doing things, but it's kind of like an evolution of things. Like, you know, Japanese people were folding their clothes and putting them like vertically for a long time before that. So yeah, I mean, people have been living kind of more minimalist and low impact lives for a long time. It's that one person to stream, I think. And I think that's what Marie Kondo has done with like decluttering and minimizing. Like not really new concepts, but she just put her own spin on them and that was it. Just got onto YouTube and saw your streaming. I hope you're feeling much better. I am. I'm still not 100%, but I am definitely getting there. I'm able to like sit upright now, which is a vast improvement. I'm just hoping that nothing else hits me. They still don't know what caused the pain that I'm getting. I have actually been getting that pain for a number of years, but I haven't had it in Ireland that the pain was me passing kidney stones. So yeah, that's what I thought it was this time around, but I had another scan and no stones showed up. So I don't know. Hopefully someone can get to the bottom of it soon because I do not want to live with that pain for the rest of my life. I have to run grocery shopping. Also finally getting our AC fixed today. Went almost 3 weeks ago. Ooh. You know how hot it's been. Have a fabulous day. Have a good time, Rhonda. Enjoy your grocery shopping. Hope you're bringing reusable bags. Yeah, I'm going to hop off now too. Carly, thanks for videos. I found you as I was doing the KonMari Method 3 years ago. Wow. You have been following me for a long time. Thank you so much, so much. You've been very inspiring. Thank you. That really means a lot. I really, really appreciate that. You can make reusable bags out of old t-shirts. There are lots of videos about it. Yep, lots are no. So yeah, I've seen some of those as well. And there's a lady who buys like big just cloths and just ties them. And she uses those. Great way to keep your favorite t-shirt you can't seem to get rid of. Yeah, or old like, I don't know, pillowcases or bedclothes or things like that. Like obviously you wouldn't just carry a pillowcase to the store. Or maybe you would. But yeah, you can like make your own, definitely. Geek Dragon wants to thank everyone for the tips. I only get plastic bags about once a week for a poo bag. I have a rabbit and live in an apartment. Well then, yeah, okay. I'll let you away with that one. If you get nappy bags or diaper bags, you probably call them over here, they're generally cheaper instead of like specific pet ones. That's a little top tip for you. Nothing new on the earth. Yeah, my grandma was zero waste minimalist before it got trendy. It's just normal to do compost, reuse, and not have excess. yeah, again, like the older generation would have been used to like mending things rather than going out and buying new things. But we're such a disposable society these days. Um, First video I saw you is the how to fold KonMari. Yeah, the KonMari folding video. A lot of subscribers and traffic my way. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Zanali. That that video, it still amuses me highly that that video basically went viral. I don't know how many views it has now, but well over 1 million. And I just find it just terribly amusing. um, Thank you, Stacy. Normal plastic bags for the store. If you're reusing the same plastic bags, that's fine. But if you can, refuse the plastic bags that they give you and try and use plastic bags or tote bags or canvas bags or whatever that you already have. Okay, I'm going to go. I think I've answered all your questions. I hope I have. And I had other things prepared. Like if nobody was asking questions, I was just going to run with some tips. But I think I've done loads there, and my voice thankfully has held out. So I'm so thankful to everyone who was here. Thank you so much. Like I said, I've just been so ill this week that actually recording and editing a video was just not going to happen for me. So the live stream, I'm thinking of doing a live stream once a month. So obviously I'm focusing, like I focused a lot on decluttering recently. So I thought like decluttering Q&A would make sense. Next month for June, I'm going to be focusing a little bit more on like planning and like journaling and using notebooks and to-do lists and things like that. So I thought maybe at the end of June, I could do like a planning Q&A live stream. If people are, but yeah, let me know what you think. Pop over to Facebook or wherever, follow me, all over the place. Oh, and there is my alarm to remind me that I need to get off the live stream now. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, I will pop over to you, Christina, make up a bed for me eventually. Thank you so much, everyone, and I will speak to you all very soon. Thank you for your get well messages. I know I haven't replied to everyone yet, but my inbox has just been flooded with messages and comments, and I'm trying to reply to everyone. Say the Irish bye-bye thing that you do. Gur míle maith agam agus feici mé sibh go luath. Slán. I actually have a video coming up on how to say that. Loads of people have been asking me, like just to kind of slow it down. So I'm going to be on holidays next week. So that will just kind of be a little quick video that I can do. So you can expect that up next week. I think it's coming up Saturday week, if you're interested in that. The goodbye means thank you so much, and I will see you all soon. And slán is goodbye. So yeah, slán.